Hey everyone, happy, blessed new year. I hope that your first week of 2022 was good and fulfilling and that you are feeling somewhat nurtured as we move into 2022. And I know for me, this week and usually the first week of any new year is this kind of like, okay, how do we get back into the flow again? So I just wanted to share a couple things that we have coming up and say hey to everyone and see if anybody has any questions. And I don't know why I can't see your chats. Well, for some reason the chat, oh, there we go, comments. Yay. All right. So if anybody's here live, hi, see you. Go ahead and share in your chat. Just say hi where you're tuning in from. I'm currently in upstate New York. Hey there, Kailala Kitty. Hey, Misty. Happy 2022. So I'm currently up in upstate New York, outside of Woodstock, visiting friends, about to go into a writing retreat, settling in. Good morning, Amy. And testing my audio equipment as well. So, how's the sound out there? I do get around. Hey, Nathalie. Yay. So, if you guys sound okay, sound pretty good, I've got my good headphone on. So, I am in the next couple days going to record a bunch of podcasts to get the podcast going. Thanks, Linda. Stacy, hey Kelly. Good. Thanks, Amy. So I have my little setup and I'm going in with the podcast. So that'll be happening. Podcast is coming back. And we also have, sorry. Yeah, Kailala Kitty. This has been a sad 2020 so far. Today was my coworker's last day. That's so hard when you lose a coworker that you've got really good rapport with. So I know. Hey, yay. Thanks, Naomi. Yay. So things coming up. One, it snowed here. I wonder if I could show it to you. I probably can't since I'm all hooked up to the microphone, but it snowed this morning. Super exciting. Yay for upstate New York snow. The other thing is that if you set a resolution for the new year and you're already finding that you're struggling to keep it going, or if you didn't set a resolution, good for you. I have coming up what's called the Anti-Resolution Challenge, and yay for resolutions, like all good. And studies have shown that most of us can only keep a resolution going for about 18 days at the max. So why don't they work? Why can't we just set our intent and hold our will and say, I will do this? It's because we need a lot more pieces to that puzzle of changing patterns and behaviors. We need good community and support. We also need really good tools and an understanding of patterns that keep us stuck, patterns that cause us to sabotage ourselves, and patterns that also give us the illusion that like they believe that they're trying to keep us safe, but they're actually not supporting us. So in I don't even know what field you call this, in trauma response or in any response. So if your body feels threatened, it goes into what we used to know is fight or flight, right? That you fight or you run. And that for many, many years, that was kind of like there's only two things that you're going to do. But what research has started to find is that there's other ways that we cope with challenging situations. So we might fight, we might flight, we might flee, or freeze is another one, or fawn. So fawn is the newest one. And the freeze one is just we can't take action. And this is a lot of times it's something that the fawn and the freeze, I think now that people are starting to study women's bodies rather than just men's bodies, they're understanding that one of the responses that some women especially, and this is all genders, but some women especially run into when they feel like they're in danger is a freeze. And it's a way to keep yourself protected and safe. If you can be in the wild and get really, really still, and you see this with deer all the time, right? A deer will hear a noise it doesn't know, and it'll freeze, it'll wait. Okay. So fawn is the last one, Sakina, and fawning is the one that's been most recently discovered, is just starting to be explored more and more. And fawning is when you please. So you're in a dangerous situation, you don't feel safe, you go into pleasing the other people or the other person. And it's, again, a response that is from your nervous system trying to protect yourself. And it can also then get locked in the body. Okay. Happy New Year, Marianne. So what we're exploring in the anti-resolution challenge is just this idea that it's been a hard couple years. Like we've been in like what I think of as excess warrior mode. Most of us have been pushing and striving and like figuring out how to make things happen. And we're also having some level of trauma response to what's happening, to the big upheaval, or physical response to what's happening. And that some of us might feel like we have to fight and figure it out and keep pushing. Some of us might like be retreating and running away from pretending like nothing's happening. Some of us might be just feel completely incapacitated. I don't know what to do. And others of us might have gone into this role of like, I'm just going to make it nice. Like it's actually fine. It's going to be okay. That again is not from a real deep connection to self and to what's happening. It's a reaction. Okay. And as I started thinking about this and thinking about what do we need in 2022, I spent a lot of time, November, December, really listening deeply for what do we need as humans right now as to help us to move forward when there's been so much challenge, when there's been so much also pushing and surviving. And what I recognized is that we really need to continue to learn how to nourish ourselves, to rest, to go towards more heart, what I think of as goddess energy, and hold ourselves in new ways. And as I was feeling into this, what I recognized is that those 4 psychological strategies that we have are very similar to 4 strategies that I've been playing with for many, many years, and that I write about in my book, Warrior Goddess Training. And those strategies are, in no particular order, control, isolate, distract, please. So controlling, isolating, distracting, and pleasing. And that when we go into those strategies, we're going into automatic pilot. We're not actually in relationship with ourselves deeply and what's happening. When we're in the strategy, it's a template, and we just go into it because we're like, this is the only way to respond to this. I need to control the situation. I need to please other people. I need to isolate and remove myself. I need to distract. So in the anti-resolution challenge, we together spend 7 days exploring these different strategies. And it's a really gentle and also really beautiful container for going deeper into your relationship with yourself to see what is the patterning that tends to keep you stuck. And when you start to free it up, how can you look at both the gifts, like what are the gifts? Because so often these strategies, there's beneath them is the gift. There's a beauty of a healed strategy that you're choosing to be in a particular way. And we talk about that in the 7-day challenge. And there's also the shadow. That's the places where you've hurt yourself and hurt others, and how to turn and face that so that we can unpack it and open up into something different, into being in different relationship with the world, where we're grounded and present and curious and open-hearted and loving towards self and others. That it doesn't mean that everything's great and that we're always going to be happy. It means that we're in relationship with where we're at, and that we learn how to listen to what inspires me, what support do I need? We don't need to do it alone. This idea of I must fix myself and figure it out is actually not beneficial. We're all part of communities. Even if we're isolated, we're still part of larger communities. And so the idea of learning how with a group of people, and I think there's like 2,500 people signed up for the anti-resolution challenge right now. So there'll be a good group going through it, which is a really beautiful energy to help us with the challenges, the losing the coworker, the loss of a loved one, places where you're not sure what your next step is, or where you feel like you're struggling in your relationship with self, that we can together, think about it as hold hands and go in together in the anti-resolution challenge and start to explore. So along with a little video and a little writing, there's also worksheets every day. So you have the opportunity to take the lesson, the information, the guidance, and then apply it to your own life. To really feel into how does this apply to me? And then there's also exercises and good questions to ask yourself to help you to start clearing away the old habits and patterns that aren't serving you so that you can open up into being in relationship with self and with others in a completely different way. So I've got a banner here, boop. So here's the link. I love that. Look at that. So I'll also put it in the chat. Yes, it's so good. So it's Anti-Resolution Challenge. It has its own website.com. If you want to sign up, completely free, 7 days, lots of resources. And I'd love to hear, how are you? How are you doing? What are you struggling with? What are you worried about right now? Just going to hide that. We'll bring it back again. So will the challenge start and finish? Yes. So it starts January 12th. Great question. It starts January 12th, which is, I believe, next Wednesday, and it goes through January 19th. Okay, so 7 days, January 12th through the 19th, a little video, you'll get email, a little video, a writing, and the worksheets that you can download to do on your own time. And then we'll also then be interacting with each other in a closed Facebook group in Warrior Goddess Women. Okay, yeah. Natalie, oops, sorry, hide. I think this is perfect timing to do this. Everyone needs connection to. Yeah, me too. And I was thinking about starting it January 1st because I'm like, let's start the new year, January 1st. But then we realized that, it takes time to kind of get yourself back out of the holiday mode and settle in. So January 12th, mid-month, to give us some time to start to settle. And then we'll go in together. Mm-hmm. Mary Ruth, so looking forward to learning new ways to cope with daily life. Fight or flight and people pleasing is no longer working for me. Yeah, you are so welcome. And it's a practice, and it takes awareness to have the awareness of what are we doing that's not working, to be honest with ourselves, to have compassion, to understand why we're doing it. And that's something that we'll explore in the challenge. And then also to look at what are the new actions that we can take to start to transform. And for me, this is the other thing that we also have been talking about over here in Warrior Goddess Land, is that in these times, like, I'm not doing this anti-resolution challenge so that we can all be happy all the time and like have this false sense of like nothing else is going on in the world. I get to just be happy, and that's the state I should be in all the time. Okay. The truth is we're in challenging times, and yay, happiness, yay, joy, yay, feeling grateful. And we can have all of that. And we have to understand that there's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot that is unknown. And so I read this line the other day that really resonated with me, is that we're learning how to find balance in unbalanced times. And that doesn't mean this. It means to learn how to be in relationship with the waves in a different way and to hold ourselves in a different way. And when we learn that, when we get more steady inside of ourselves, What that means is we can listen and open to what action to take in the world, to what stillness to bring inside so that we can get clear, and then what action to take so that we're part of a collective, and we need all of us, I believe, to be in good grounded action based on what really lights us up, what nourishes us, and also what we feel passionate about so that we can bring the best of ourselves to the world, because the world needs us. And learning how to unpack these old strategies and really look at how have you navigated the pandemic, because how you've navigated the pandemic is going to tell you a lot about yourself, your beliefs, your agreements, the strategies. And then we can start to then bring them up, not from judgment, but from discernment, and start to discern, okay, which things really aren't serving me or aren't serving the world. Because we're part of a larger, blessed community that's global. And to then learn how to nourish ourselves, to stabilize that, and to then be able to bring the gifts, the wisdom, the clarity, the stillness, the laughter, the grief into the world as needed, the action, where to put our energy. So that's something we'll be exploring as well. Sakina, the challenge is it's email, so they'll go out in the morning. So the window is January 12th through the 19th, and you'll get an email every morning, and then you'll have the day to do the challenge for that day and share with us on the Facebook group. Jennifer, I have a lot of uncertainty in my relationships. With this help? I believe it will. So uncertainty in relationship to self, relationship to others. Part of what happens is that when we're in uncertainty in any situation and in relationships, when we're in uncertainty, we then start falling back into these strategies. We start falling back into these habits and patterns. And going through the anti-resolution challenge, you'll get to see what's your main strategy, or what have you been stuck or locked in, and then you'll get some tools around how to start to unravel it and get more clarity of your intent in those relationships as well. Natalia, you said you would do live videos as well for this challenge. Will your videos be available on your page for those who might be working? They're actually recorded videos. So I'll be doing some live video just on Facebook, but the part of the challenge is pre-recorded, so you can watch it anytime. Yay! So we wanted to make it super available to people. So every morning of the challenge, you'll get a pre-recorded video from me and the writing and the worksheet to download that you can do it then anytime. So you could do it in the morning, you could do it in the evening. My recommendation is just set a time. So if you know that you work from 9 to 6 every day with a couple hour break, then you might say, okay, on my lunch breaks, I'm going to watch. And the videos are short. The videos are like 10 minutes. So you can watch the video and do the work, or maybe in the evening, or maybe in the morning when you wake up. So having a time that you set so that you stay steady over the 7 days can be incredibly helpful. Kailala, sometimes I struggle with challenge because my morning is different than others. I work nights. Yeah, well, it's going to come into your inbox whenever it comes into your inbox. Whenever you see it, you can do the challenge. So in a lot of ways, thank you, Natalie. Thank you. So even those of you that work, this is why I decided not to do it live. I'll do Facebook Lives as we're going through the challenge, but the actual teaching part of the challenge is pre-recorded. So it's available to everybody around the globe, depending, regardless of what your schedule is. Trudy, I look forward to the anti-resolution challenge. I've even suggested it to some of my clients. Great. Good. So glad to hear that. Yeah, bring your friends. It's also a great way to start some good conversations in 2022. No, I think this is something else that I'm really passionate about this year, is that because we often have put so much energy into maintaining over this last year or two, that we now have an opportunity to deepen our communication with ourselves and with others, and to deepen our relationships and to be creative in how we do that. And so this might be a great way if you have a group of friends that you can bring in to do the challenge, then you have language together to start talking about what you're navigating and what strategies that you're using and what's beneath that strategy that would be more beneficial. Okay, so feel free to bring friends in for sure. www.antiresolutionchallenge.com. I'll just share the banner again. And then any other questions about anything. So I'm here for the next, I'll hang out about 5 more minutes. So any other questions or thoughts? How have you been? How are you feeling about stepping into 2022? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel scared? Do you feel curious? How are you feeling? I'm also excited with the anti-resolution challenge to give us common languaging as a community. So whether you're new to the Warrior Goddess community or you've been part of the community for a long time, it will give us language to explore how to be more conscious of how we're responding, and to also be curious about how we're reacting and how we can start to undo that. Good. So any questions, shares? How are you doing? Sakina. So a resolution is something that most commonly people think about at New Year's, that you make a New Year's resolution, which is I'm resolving, I'm choosing, I'm saying yes to taking these actions in my life. So anti-resolution is that we don't say I'm going to do these 20 things differently this year. You know, a lot of times New Year's Eve, people are like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to start running 10 miles a day, I'm going to have those hard conversations that I haven't had. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Like, we create this huge list of things that are our resolutions that we're going to make happen. But a lot of times we don't have the energy or the capacity to have to actually do those resolutions. And then we punish and beat ourselves up. And then we feel hopeless, or we feel drained, or we feel like something's wrong with us, or we make excuses. But we have this like separation inside of ourselves. And the anti-resolution, just, it's a fun term of like, no resolution. Let's rewire ourselves rather than just adding things to our to-do list, which is what a resolution is. What I want to help us do is nurture the soil of our being, actually go into the roots of the places where we get stuck, the places where we're stagnant, and start to bring life and learn how to nourish ourselves over time so that we're sustainable. Natalie, I'm really excited. I listened to Warrior Goddess training twice last year, and it helped so much. I'm trying to enroll my friends into this. I'll send them this live so they know what they are getting themselves into. Yeah, good idea. I'm feeling hopeful. Was feeling hopeless for months, isolation, distracting, pleasing, all the strategies we're on. Yes. Well, good. I'm glad that you're feeling more hopeful, and I hope that the anti-resolution challenge gives you a lot more tools. I'm really, really excited about it. Zen, optimistic. The last 2 years have been a huge challenge, but brought me closer to my real self. Or Chen, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. If I'm mispronouncing your name, just like Natalie did, just let me know. Trudy, I feel empowered. My word of the year is progress. Last year, my word was grace. Wonderful. I love that. Tanya, I'm in my 50s and have huge transitions in the last couple of years. This seems ideal for me discovering and grounding into a new me. Yes. Please join us. And again, everything's recorded. You'll get an email. You can do it at your own pace. The one thing that I recommend, because it is 7 days, is pick a time that you set aside for yourself to do the challenge. The videos are about 10 minutes. It's short, so you can create the space to do it for yourself, and just keep steady over the 7 days. And then the last piece is around just doing the worksheets when you have the opportunity, and that we'll be discussing things in the Warrior Goddess Women page. So we have a closed Facebook group, which will be part of the challenge. We'll invite you in so that you can then interact with other women as well, or other humans. All humans are welcome. All bodies are welcome. Good. I'm looking forward to 2022. Kailala Kitty. There are some stuff I want to try. Beautiful. Good. Good. I love this idea. Sounds good. I hate making a resolution as it doesn't make sense when it's false ideology that it doesn't last. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So let's, instead of adding something to our to-do list, let's stop that. Let's learn how to hold ourselves in a different way so that our actions come from a nourished, resourced place inside of us. And yes, Sakina, it is completely free to everyone. Yeah. Yeah. And then also coming up, so the challenge is completely free, and then we're just starting now to share, and I think that's the sharing of this next event is going to start today or tomorrow, but I'm also offering a 2-day workshop called Reclaim and Restore. So that's coming up as well. Join the challenge, you'll get more information about it. Yay. Patricia, you asked how we are feeling towards 2022. I feel curious, anxious, because I'll be 60 next month and in more reality than I can remember. And actually, some days need to keep saying, I can change the past, and asking spirit to guide. Yes. Yeah. Happy almost birthday. And a new decade is a wonderful time to rebirth, renew, reinvestigate, re-support yourself, like to come back into right relationship with yourself. So congratulations for your awareness. I hope that the challenge really supports you as you step into the blessing of your 60th year and rebirth yourself again. Good. My goal is to stay out of my bedroom from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and to nurture some friendships. Beautiful. Love it. All right, sweet ones. Thanks for joining me today. Please share with your friends. It is completely free, January 12th through the 19th. You'll get emails that will have a little video writing and the worksheets, and then we will be interacting on the Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group. And I'll be doing just kind of random Facebook Lives as well, just to support and see how everybody's doing. So blessed 2022. Please reach out to us if you need anything, if you have any questions, if you need support. You can reach the team at hello@warriorgoddess.com. I have an amazing team that works with me, and that's been working really, really hard to help me to settle into writing, which is what I'm about to do because I'm up here on a writing retreat. So just gratitude to my team and to the Warrior Goddess mentors that are also holding this container, and gratitude to you. Thanks for joining me today. And I'll do another check-in in the next couple days on Facebook. All my love to you. Blessed 2022. And I hope to see you as part of the Anti-Resolution Challenge. It's antiresolutionchallenge.com. Yay! All right, loves. Take good care. Bye-bye.